What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. You know, we got a bunch of great content on the channel already, and we're pumping out 3 videos a week right now, so we don't want you guys to miss any of those. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate all of you guys, the loyal viewers, subscribers, everyone always watching the videos, liking, commenting. I see you guys, I know who you are, and I really appreciate all you guys always supporting the channel. All right, so today we're talking about it's kind of unique situation. This is 2024, and it's the year of the cicada hatch. You know, this is like a monumental year where all these different year classes kind of collide and they all hatch this same year or something crazy. I don't know how it all works, but there's cicadas everywhere. And when that happens, the whole ecosystem in the lakes totally changes. You know, they got this brand new food source that gets introduced, and it totally changes how everything acts. You know, obviously the bluegill and carp and catfish are all going to be eating them, but the bass are also eating the cicadas, and then they're also eating the bluegill that are eating the cicadas as well. So it totally changes up things. It makes for a really excellent year of shallow water fishing and a really excellent year of topwater fishing. So that's what we're going to talk about today is a few of my favorite baits to throw when those bass are out eating the cicadas. Okay, so like I mentioned, it's a topwater year, and actually there is a few baits out there that are designed to look just like a cicada. And this is one of them right here. These wings actually catch the water, and he just kind of wakes along almost like a jitterbug style bait. And you know, a jitterbug would be an excellent choice, but it's hard to beat the real thing. And this guy right here looks exactly like those cicadas. What is this? It's a Chase Baits. It's called the Ripple Cicada. Honestly, I don't even know where I got these. I've had them for quite a few years, honestly. It would had to have been the last time the cicadas hatched and everything was going on, the bass were eating them. I picked a few of these up, and I've had them sitting on the shelf until this year. They hatched again, and it's time to pull them out and go catch some fish on it. So it's a really cool bait. Honestly, I know nothing about it. I don't know where you can get them, any of that. So don't be hounding me on anything about getting the Chase Baits. Honestly, I don't even know if they're still in business. But it's a really cool bait. There's a few different brands that make a similar bait. You know, Megabass makes one. I think Evergreen makes one, but they're all very similar style baits. They just kind of walk along the surface, and you know, it's hard to beat imitating the real thing whenever the bass are out feeding on the cicadas. So that's obviously going to be the #1 choice. That's the most realistic looking bait you could throw right now if you're trying to imitate a cicada. But if you don't have access to one of those and you just have your normal tackle box, there's plenty of options that you have already in your tackle box that you could go out and throw and catch fish that are actually actively eating the cicadas. You know, obviously going to be a topwater bait. So first up, you could just pick up any buzz bait you got in your boat. Just go cast it and wind it, retrieve it right on the surface. You know, the gurgling doesn't really sound or imitate like a cicada, but the fact that it's something on the surface, those bass are going to eat it. Now for me, I'd like to slow down a little bit more than a buzz bait. That's when I'm going to pick up like a prop bait style bait right here. So this is like a custom made prop bait. This is more of a bluegill looking color, but this could imitate both things. So obviously it could imitate the bluegill that are up there feeding on the cicadas, but still it's going to kind of buzz along the top and make short little pops. And you know, it's a little bit bigger than a cicada, but still imitates something on the surface that's making that commotion. And a bass could certainly eat this bait thinking it's a cicada, and it's an excellent choice if you're fishing around bass that are eating the bugs. Next up, it's going to be a bait that I'm sure you own. It's just an old school popper. You know, there's so many different brands out there, and this one, you can see I actually doctored up. So this one actually came in a very natural, you know, bug or bluegill looking color. It's kind of a brownish green pumpkin. It's got the brown tail, which I really like. You know, that makes it look a lot more natural. But you know, if you don't want to buy any new tackle, you can take one that you already own, like I've done with this. This was a shad killer. This is actually it's a Rico. You can see it through the back there, but I just took a Sharpie and made him all black. So now he's definitely more bug shaped or colored, I guess you would. You know, it's not a shad imitator anymore. It's all black. And the only thing I would change if I had the opportunity to tie up a new feather treble hook is I would, you know, tie that with more of a brown or natural looking color to get rid of that white. But again, there's no issue with the white. They're going to eat it just fine. And again, we're just looking for baits that are sitting on the surface. You can move them as fast or slow as you want. You know, pop him, twitch him, just kind of keep him on the surface close to those fish that are feeding on the cicadas, and they're going to mess up and eat one of these right here. And you're going to reel in a big fish on the pop bar. So lastly, this is going to be for more of your heavy cover situation. If you have to skip a bait, get it underneath the overhangs or get it up in some grass or something, and that's just going to be a frog. You know, this is one of my favorite little frogs. If you guys watch the channel, you've seen I've talked about this guy a lot, the Jackal Kiera frog. Just a nice little guy. Honestly, this could be the size of a cicada, so it's a perfect imitator as far as profile. And then you can fish this through the grass, through the wood, whatever you want to do, and fish it a lot slower, kind of twitch it, walk it in place. But the Kiera frog, excellent choice. And you know, this is something I'll have on my deck all spring and summer while the cicadas are out. Okay, so line for these types of baits, you know, obviously the frog is going to be a braided line technique. You're throwing it around that heavier cover, but you get around this guy, you know, honestly, this is a fairly light bait. So honestly, I would probably throw him on a spinning rod, you know, with that braided line to like a small fluorocarbon leader, potentially, maybe even a mono leader, depending on how he's floating. And then the popper is very similar. You know, you're typically going to throw him on a braid to fluorocarbon or a straight mono. Or I'm sorry, braid to mono or a braid or just straight mono on the popper and prop bait. But hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully, you know, you're not getting attacked by the cicadas, but hopefully they're getting into your fishery and making the fish go wild. And hopefully you can use some of these baits techniques to get out on the lake, the river, wherever you're at, and catch some more bass when they're feeding on the cicada. So it can be a lot of fun. And, you know, a lot of those rivers up north, you know, growing up, I remember the Cicada Hatch and the rivers around Pittsburgh, and it was a lot of fun to go throw some topwater those times. So I'm a little jealous of you northern boys right now, but should be a good time. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, leave me those likes and comments down below. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and see you guys next time.